Hi guys, welcome to another episode with Fola Shade Dining. So guys, you know how like it's a common I don't even want to call it a myth, right? But it's just a common thing that you find, once ladies like are approaching, like maybe they are 30, right? Or they are approaching like the age of 30, people just begin to ask you some very funny questions that, where is he? When are you going to bring him home? Are you not going to get married? Your mom might even be your own parents like disturbing you and asking you, for someone another. And so I thought about that, and I thought about there might be like some of us who are going through that right now. You're probably past like 25, or like you're probably approaching your 30s, and you're probably not in a committed relationship, and you're wondering like when, like what can you do, how can you, maybe you're not even interested in a relationship and you just want to live your life, build a beautiful career, and you're just wondering how to navigate this, or maybe you actually want a relationship and you just don't know like how to go about it. Don't worry, I have got you. And that is why I went all the way, guys. I didn't bring her from Nigeria, I didn't bring her from America, I went to the moon to go and bring her down for you people, so that you can enjoy. But just before we get into it, please don't forget to like this video and subscribe, and also share with your friends, right? Because it's going to be an exciting, not just even exciting, it's going to be an insightful, and I'm sure like Mercy here, she's still going to introduce herself, right? Mercy here has a lot to share with us. So hi Mercy.
It's such an honor to be here.
Oh, the honor is mine. How did you say it again?
This kind of things like when I grow up, I'd like to be on.
Hey, I'm making my head to swell.
Yeah. So this is like a small big dream come true. So thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for coming. I know, like I said, guys, I went to bring her from the moon. So Mercy got married recently, and in fact, very recent. I think about roughly 2 weeks ago.
12 days ago.
12. Oh, Mercy is very particular about numbers, and you guys will find out, right? She got married 12 days ago, so I literally went to bring her from the moon for you guys. Yeah, just so that you can hear. So, do you want to introduce yourself? Can you tell us a bit about yourself? Okay. What you do, and all of that.
Cool. So my name is Mercy, now Mrs. Mercy Bello. I love my new last name. Sorry for people who feel like this is too much. I love my new last name.
No, that's why they are here. They are here. You guys are here so that you can.
They're here for it. Okay, that's great. That's really great. So, Mercy Bello now, and I'm an educator.
Okay.
I love everything God, education, tech, and I currently work for Dream Code. I usually say I work for Dream Code, but I run Dream Code. It's a non-profit empowering public secondary school students with life skills, preparing them for the future of work, preparing them for entrepreneurship and life in general. So, so that's what I do for work. And when I'm not doing that, I am loving this man that God has blessed me with.
Mercy brought pepper. You guys, Mercy brought a lot of pepper to this conversation.
Please have cold water by your side.
Because it's gonna be so peppery.
Yeah, me stepping down.
Oh, okay. So you mentioned that. Apart from like Dream Code, is it Dream Code?
Dream Code, yes.
Dream Code, like helping like public secondary school students with entrepreneurial skills, right? Yes. And then what you mentioned, the other part, like you close with, which is like loving this one. So this man, when did you get married? Like when did you guys get married?
Okay, we got married a couple of days ago.
Oh, okay.
So, I was 30 years, 7 months, and 23 days old when I got married.
I told you guys that Mercy is particular.
I can be extra like that. Below.
She can be very particular. So I was even going to ask you, that was my next question.
Okay.
Since this is a conversation about, waiting, and like the conversations like people start to have with women, especially when they're approaching their 30s. I was going to ask you, like, how old were you, like, when you got married? And you just gave that she was 30 years old, 7 months, and 23 days old. So how was that journey like? Did you get any insinuating comments? How was the waiting period, to getting married? How was it like?
Because people will give comments like a lot of times, but my waiting season was beautiful. I would always describe it as blissful.
Okay.
Blissful in the sense that I enjoyed every bit of it.
Okay.
Mind you, there was a time in my life when I didn't see marriage for myself, right? And it was totally fine. If there are people out there who feel like, oh, maybe I'm not cut out for this marriage thing, be fine. Like, it's fine. But then be sure where that is coming from.
Okay.
All right, because for me at that time, when that came up for me, it was coming from a place of trauma that I'd experienced growing up, and so I was like, nah, I can do fine all by myself, kind of thing. And so I love God. I can pursue purpose freely without having to worry about a man and all of that. So I was totally fine. So like it was a blissful season for me, and over the years, God healed my heart from whatever trauma it was that I experienced growing up, and He started opening me up to receiving His love from His Son. And so not just the Son Jesus Christ, but his Son on earth. And so He healed my heart over time. And so before that time, it was just almost more like a blissful experience. I was doing my own thing. I started pursuing everything that I felt like I really wanted to do. I started running my businesses. I started my non-profit. I went abroad for my master's. So I was actually doing like a whole lot of things, you know. And so it was a blissful experience for me.
But so I was going to say I really like this because I feel like not everyone wants to get married, right?
True.
But just like Mercy said, just be sure like where that is coming from. Make sure like it's just not a sort of protective, you know, wall that you've placed against your heart, you know, to prevent yourself from hurt. But I was going to say, I want to say something, but then I will come back to, you know, the first question I asked about people making insinuating comments. Are you not like old or something? Well, I like your shirt. I like what it has on. It says God still has sons.
Yes. And I'm married to one.
Hey, I was just waiting for her to say that part.
Fine one at that. Have you seen my husband? Hey, God.
I have only seen my own husband. I believe that. But I have to believe that your husband is fine as well.
No, he's fine. No, he's fine.
Okay. So how did you handle, you know, that part, the whole like comments? Was there ever any time where someone made a comment about your age and whether or not you should get married?
So the truth about it, like some people finding out that I'm married now is still surprising because they're like, Messi, career woman. So yes, career woman was my tagline. And at some point in my life, you just get to a point in your life where you're like, you don't even care. They should say whatever they want to say. I just didn't care at some point. You know, there was like, when I was younger, it would get to me and then I'll be all upset. I'm like, I'm making my money. I'm doing God's work. I am living a happy life. They can say whatever they want to say, right? But the comments, you know, would always come. One of my uncles he said like, oh, he knows like I'm doing great for myself, but like, is my mind there? Like, you know, he's evil and he's like, is your mind there? Like, you know, sometimes you just be so busy and you forget marriage. And you know, I'm like, I'm thinking about it, you know, those kind of stuff. But the comments came in. But people who actually knew me, like close to me, they just understood that, oh, she wasn't just ready, right? And it was fine. And I think I loved my parents, like, zero pressure, you know. And there's this joke in my house where like after NYSC I came back, we had like my parents usually have this meeting and at the beginning of the year, and then they would say, oh, how can we support you this year? So after NYSC I told my parents like, I want to start my business. I'm not bringing any man home. And then it's like, if the man comes, will you chase him? You know, but ever since then, I just become like a joke in the house. And at the beginning of every new year, they will now say, so this year I want to start my business. I'm not bringing any man home. So it becomes like a joke in the house, but zero pressure from my parents. They just knew like God's timing was best.
And I mean, every other person like is secondary,
honestly. And so that was it.
What advice would you give to someone who is getting like comments like from people, maybe it's even their parents pressuring them? What do you think you have anything to say to someone like that?
With parents it gets dicey, you know, when they throw that grandkid
when am I going to carry my grandchildren
when they throw that card at you, you know, it gets, but then it depends on the kind of relationship you have with your parents. I believe you should be able to talk to them, you know, just help them understand. You know, there was a point in time where my parents wanted, if you're ever going to date anybody, let it be from a certain track, you know, and then after a while, like, it didn't work out like that. I explained to my parents like, I'm really, really trying here, but it's not working out. So I feel like people should be able to have those conversations. People should be able to have those conversations with their parents and like, see, this is not good for me. It's you know, just have those conversations. But if you're in a space wherein you can't have those kind of conversations, I believe so much in like just have other people talk to them. I feel like that works too. If you find someone else who can speak to
someone
your parents,
they
can listen to. Yes, that can also work. And then for other people, please, like, their opinion is really, really secondary. You're living your life, you're living life according to purpose, you're doing what God would have you do. So other things, they can go and chill and drink.
So I was going to ask, like, during that period, did you ever, like, by the time like you were done, like by the time God had healed your heart, right? Did you ever get any proposal like from someone that you knew that okay, this is not the type of person I want to marry? What helped you not to settle for the wrong type of guy, despite the fact that now you wanted to get married and there was still nobody coming?
Okay, so yes, my heart got healed over time, like you said, and I was ready. I kept telling myself I was ready to be married, right? And then, like every other guy kept coming, and I think some of the things that actually really, really helped was like knowing what it is that I wanted. Right?
Okay.
So it starts.
So we can say like you made a list, a sort of.
Funny enough, yes. Like I'm that meticulous. Like so, there was a list at some point, but I think like over the years, God started telling me to become that list. So become the list, become what you're looking for, and then it makes sense, right? And then I think the other thing for me was like knowing that God is a good father, and he will give me his best. So I just always rested in that fact that like when it's time, it will come. When it's time, it will come, and I kept just preparing my heart, and like the whole thing that they said, because for me, switching from marriage is not my thing to all of a sudden becoming ready for marriage, I had to like really build on a lot of things. So I just kept on doing the things that I knew how to do best. I was working on my assignments in education. I was doing a lot of stuff with education. I started picking up skills. So that helps too. What else was I doing? I think I was just very, very patient with the process, because I knew like the waiting season was supposed to serve a purpose, and I was supposed to be doing all of those things. So for me, it was almost more like, what am I supposed to be doing in this season of life? So that's what I was doing. So it didn't feel more like, time was going in quotes, because I was like just actively pursuing what God would have me do, basically. And I think something else that I really, really liked that I was doing over the years was I was journaling. Right. So I had like a future husband journal at a point, because I knew like I really had to be intentional about this. So aside from me praying for him, praying about the list, I started writing to him. And I think after a while, I graduated from journaling to an email, which my husband now has, which is very special.
That's so intentional. But how does he have anything like that?
So just reminding, like just going over God's promises and journaling and doing all of these things. So that kept my heart in check. And so not settling again. What other thing helped me was like surrounding myself with great people and seeing what they have. My parents have like an amazing marriage. They've been married for like 30 years plus, and they're beautiful. They still eat from the same plate, like once at least one meal. They still have one meal together, and it's just so beautiful how they relate to each other.
So you had that example.
Yes, I had that example one, and so it was like, I don't want anything less than this. My father is that kind of person who, if he has money, you know. Like he's not this very secretive person. So like his standard was already high. And so I surrounded myself with like people. So it's like if you're in a space where you're waiting, you don't want to settle, make sure you're surrounded by the right things.
The right people.
The right people too. The right information. So yes, those things helped,
Okay. So I also wanted to ask you, was there ever a time like during that period where you had like a failed relationship that really hurt? How did you move on from that? Sorry.
I was served breakfast, man. Different delicacies. It was hilarious, so like you prepare your heart for love, right? And you really want this beautiful God designed kind of, and you keep telling yourself God writes the best love stories, and then he brings a son, because like you already have the standard, and from the standard for me, it's like a no to date a non-Christian. So I know like I was not dating just anybody. So I got into a relationship intentionally with a Christian, and then things are going on well, and then talks around this ambition of yours is becoming too much. Don't you want to tone it down a little?
You don't do that.
Like so it's so it becomes more like, okay, you can be ambitious but not too much. You can do this thing but not too much. And your personality is just all the way out there. Just at the point it was like, okay, this is too much compromising. So like it's more like you're reducing yourself too much. So I had my list of 10 things, and over the years God built me into all of those things and more. But then I was like, I can't sacrifice any of this because he's a child of God too. So I'm like, okay, God will have me do a whole lot of things. So No. So the breakfast was served on a very interesting platter. At the point, he was like, "Oh, he's fine with me, pursuing all of these dreams and all of that." But after a while, he spoke to family and people, and they're like, "Women like this are too clever." And clever here is not a. It
wasn't a compliment.
It's not a compliment at all. Clever is like you can be deceptive, and I'm like, wow. And
he came to tell you that.
So I wish he actually sat down and told me all of these things, like, "Oh, we're not going to work." We're like ghosting on a premium level.
Wow.
Just ghosted, and it was just weird.
And I think like I always say, I always tell like people, right, on this, like, community members, right, the fact that being a Christian is just like number one thing, yes. Right? The fact that someone is a believer is just like the number one thing. Christians also need character development too. True. Other things also need to align. The person has to be comfortable that you're driven, right? That you have goals, that you have dreams, right? So it's just really important. I mean, this was a believer. I mean, telling you,
exactly.
Telling you. So how did you move from that?
So it was really, really painful.
I can only imagine.
It's kind of like, so I have the legendary breakup playlist.
Oh
yeah. So I think for me, some people feel like, oh, it's like maybe subtle pride or something, but the moment I shut my heart off, like, I pray about it, and I tell God, like, see, God, I know you love me more than this. I know you love me, and your best is in plans for me. Yeah. So if this is no longer it, I can just walk away, because the last thing I would want is to hold on to something that God doesn't want for me. No matter how beautiful it is. And so I'll pray about it. I'll cry my eyes out. Please, the crying part, sometimes you can't escape it. So cry, but please eat food, right? So I love food too much to skip my meals because of a boy. So I'll eat food, play my breakup list. Once I play that breakup list for you, like, I play it by myself, I listen to it, and I cry, and that's all.
And then it's just like you just end it.
That's
right,
like close
there.
the door. See, you don't even need to come and apologize to me. There's certain people who had broken up with me till date, who didn't see the need to say, "Oh, I hurt you terribly," but then, like, no need. I've done the closure.
We don't even need it anymore now.
I've done the closure for myself, and I think if this happens in the community of faith, where it's like, oh, it's a believer and this breakup was nasty, don't let bitterness linger. So I think that was something else for me. So it's like, do everything, trust God. Get back on your feet, but don't let bitterness linger, because the devil can just really play on that, and just have that as a foothold to say, oh, then you keep piling people up.
And then you just start to, like, develop this hatred,
and then you don't even know where it's coming from. So that was it for me. So trust that God has bigger. God writes beautiful love stories,
and if this one didn't work, another will.
Trust me. So yes, I think for me, like, it's also very good that, like, the fact that you mentioned, like, oh, he's a believer, but then other things also have to align, character, assignment, because, like, this other person, we were actually sent into 2 different nations. We were sent to 2 different countries. It was that interesting. So who was going to move for who? At the point, like, so it can't be A or B. And then
you are the woman, so in his mind, you're expected to just, like, that's why
you just pack and leave, and move. So all of those things, like, came into play too. But then God is kind, and I love that. All of that has brought me into
where you are right now. Wow, that's amazing. So I have just 2 more questions for you, and then we'll wrap it off. What can someone do, like, especially for women who really want to be married, or maybe they are, like, no one seems to be coming? What would you advise that they do? Practical things that they can do, like, in that season to prepare for their marriage.
All right. First things first. A partner should not be the only thing you're looking out for. You know how, like, some people just go out to the mall, I mean, they're dressing up, you pick a beautiful dress, and you'll be like, let me not wear this dress. What if I go and jam my future husband? And they'll let me do this one. All of your life
subconscious is built around that.
No, that should not be everything you look out for. That should not be the only thing you look out for. Yes, have your heart open to yes, love can happen, but then that's not all, because anxiety will begin to build. Instead of you going to the mall, having a great time, you're there looking. Is that him?
And any guy that says hi to
you just begin to picture his last name with your own name. Oh boy,
it's the beauty of that.
And all of that. So no, first things first, that should not be the only thing you're looking out for. Secondly, have a life, like, be productive.
Okay.
Productively busy. You know, because like, some other people can just get into that frenzy of, oh, I'm a workaholic and just keep working and then I don't have time for like any other thing. But you know, have your own life, doing all the things that God has called you to do.
Yeah, being your own assignment.
Yes, being your own assignment, exactly. So if he meets you, he's gonna meet you doing God's work. You know, he's gonna meet you doing getting busy and all of that. So be productively busy. There are lots of things to do, right? For people who feel like, oh, maybe I don't have a lot of things to do, please, there are things that God has told you to do that you've not even started doing. So start there. So for some other people who want to be visible enough, I would say volunteer, go out, make friends.
Go to church. Stay after service. Don't run away immediately.
That's a good one too. Yeah. So like go out, go out. Have friends, build solid friendship. You're interacting with people not because you want to marry them. Just have great friendships. Because like I think the beauty of a romantic relationship is like it flows all of the way from friendship. And then you're able to like connect values. Because when someone's your friend, it's like they're not pretending to do something. They tell you what it is. They're very transparent.
There is nothing clouding it because intentions are clear.
So you can see all of that. So first thing, that should not be everything you're looking out for. 2, live your life like doing God's work. Be busy. 3, hang around, like hang out. Go out, meet people, do stuff. Build friends, build friendships with people. And what else would I say? Enjoy the process of being single, because there's going to be a point in your life where it's like you begin to wish like, oh, I wish I'd done this when I was single.
I can totally attest to that.
I wish I'd done this, and so just enjoy the process. See, now one of my biggest things is wondering what my husband is going to eat, and almost there's been a time in my life when it's like my siblings will just sort that one out.
And you didn't have to worry
I didn't
about
have to worry about any of that. Not that it's an issue now, but I'm just saying that the minute things of being single, enjoy.
I mean, for example, like I remember when I had my daughter and sitting in front in church, right? I just took it for granted, but I mean, it's now something like I totally can't do anymore because I have a baby and all of that. So enjoy. The phase that you're in now. Thank you so much, Mercy, for joining us, for coming from the moon to to join this conversation. Guys, if you have any questions for Mercy, if you have any other questions, you can just type it in the comment section. Let me know. She will be here. I will get the answers from her for you, and then she will get back to you. So thank you so much. She's going back to the moon now, guys. Thank you, guys. Don't forget to like and to subscribe and to share with your friends. It's been an amazing session. I can't wait to see you guys for our next episode. Thanks. Do you want to say bye-bye to them, Mercy? Bye, guys.